Important thing in work is the object selection settings. If you try to repeat my actions while watching, you could notice that objects in your model are being selected not like mine. So let's talk about how elements are selected and what we have to remember about to work properly. So there are several options to pick elements. This function is provided in two places. First, on the main menu, on the main panel, here it is, and from the right beneath. So they are just duplicated. For example, if we turn on it in one place, let's pin the select graph, and on the panel it has been checked as well. Then how does it work? In this menu we manage the way of object selection. When you have got some extra stuff, you can tune Revit as you want. First, select links. If some private files uploaded into your current Revit project, then select links allows to pick these connected files when tick is on and do not pick when it's off. So it's conveniently if you set some object and you don't want to move it accidentally, then better to uncheck it. Then second is select underlay elements. When you work with views and there are some underlay objects on the view, they can be selectable or not. I usually turn it on. Then select pinned elements. We'll fix later some basic objects like axes, linked files, and so on. For example, if you join common project and there everything is managed well, but you're just a beginner in Revit, then it's better to uncheck this option. So very important tool is select elements by face. If it's off, now let's uncheck it. It might be not possible to select elements by pointer. Now I bring mouse to the wall, but it's not highlighted, and the floor is not highlighted as well. Then to select elements by face, we have to put this tick, and now it can be selected. Otherwise, we have to find edge of element. Let's turn it on again. And the last tool is drag elements on selection. For me, it's the most ambiguous option, and it's strange that for last years it's still provided in Revit. This function allows to move elements randomly without preliminary selection. What does it mean? When option is active, you can point mouse over the object, and if it's highlighted, just grab it and move somewhere, like this. As for me, this is a doubtful function because actually we don't move elements randomly in a designing process. And for the last 10 years of my work in Revit, there was no need for this function at all. And if it's off, all gonna be the same, but if you point mouse on the object, you get selection frame, and to move element, firstly you have to select it. So we had one case when designer from one firm accidentally moved the underlay element. It was a laser scanning data. Then thereby all dimensions were displaced for a few millimeters, and then he worked all time on a moved basement. Then in order to avoid such situation, you have to set object selections. There is a simple rule: just less elements you select, less opportunity to have some stuff displaced. In the beginning, we can consider that select links, it's rather not needed. Now let's open menu. Then select underlay elements and select pinned elements. It depends of situation. Then select elements by face. Let's say yes, and drag elements on selection. It's better to say no. All this information is going to help you to avoid mistakes and manage your model better.